Hi, it's Darnell with NuWave Oven Recipes. Gonna try something a little crazy today. Gonna be making a chocolate cake in the NuWave Primo Grill Oven, but not just any chocolate cake, a 2-layer chocolate cake, doing both layers at the same time. Can an indoor grill oven cook a 2-layer chocolate cake, cooking both layers at once? We're gonna find out, and we're gonna get started with that right now. Alright, so welcome to my cooking science project, trying to do a 2-layer cake in a indoor grill oven. But just going to run through the ingredients and the setup that I've got going on here. Basically, I'm going to be using a box cake. It's a Moist Supreme sugar-free Devil's Food premium cake. So from Cake Mix here, and I've got for my frosting later some Creamy Supreme sugar-free chocolate fudge frosting. So it's going to be a double chocolate cake. And the ingredients along with the box mix are a ½ cup of oil and 3 large eggs. I know I could beat these eggs up ahead of time so that they mix in better, but I just like to mix it all in there at the same time. If you've been following some of my videos, you know sometimes I just do that. So anyway, I'm going to be basically greasing down these 2 pans with some oil. So when I set up here, I've got my raised rack that came with my Ultimate Roasting and Air Fryer kit, and I've got from the baking kit the silicone ring. I am going to put the silicone ring over the grill grates just to try and get the pan that's going to be on the bottom just a little off of the grates themselves, and I'll have the the second tier of the cake on this raised rack to cook up there. Now if the bottom cooks before the top is done, you know, it would be pretty hard to try and get the bottom out of there. So just going to have to live with what comes out of this, just cooking everything at once. And the bottom might raise up even into these racks a little, this upper rack a little bit, but since it's going to be a layered cake that's going to be frosted, any imperfections won't be very visibly seen, Lord willing. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to mix up the cake mix, the oil, and the eggs in a bowl here with my mixer. And I'm also going to need 1 1/4 cups of water. So forgot about that earlier, but in that goes, and we'll mix everything up. Alright, now that I got my mix all mixed up, I'm going to, for this cook, I am going to preheat. I have found in some cases preheating helps with the evenness of baking some things. So to try and make sure we get this cake right, we're going to try the preheat. You would normally cook at 325 degrees Fahrenheit, so I'm going to go ahead and set that. So I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to set the temperature down to 325, and I'm going to leave top bottom heating elements at 50%. And you would normally cook for, wait, I had 325, there we go. The cooking time for 2 pans would normally be in a regular oven between 34-38 minutes. Now I'll set it up to like 35 or 36 minutes. We'll do 36 minutes, although we may not need that long. But I'm going to go ahead and hit the preheat and hit start. Now while it's preheating, I'm going to go ahead and grease these pans and try and just get some cake mix into each. I don't bother with trying to weigh to measure and all that good stuff. I just pour them in to what I feel is even and live with it. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that now. Alright, the preheat has completed, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get this dome off. I'm going to put my layers of cake in. So I'll put my first layer in there, and put the raised rack on top, and put my second layer right on top. It's going to be interesting to see what becomes of this, but we're going to go with it. So I'm going to hit start, and we're going to see what happens. Things have been cooking for 26 minutes. I'm going to pause and have a look in there, see what's going on. Take a closer look. Don't know what button I hit there, but I know we got 10 minutes left. It's not looking too bad as far as checking it out. It's got a little, maybe just a little, I think it's probably okay. It's got like a little, just a little bit of stuff on there, but I think that'll be okay. Let me get that top layer off. I think we can eat that. And I think the bottom layer did stick a little. It did stick a little to the upper layer, but it's looking like it's pretty well done. There's a little bit of stuff coming off there, but I think it's good. I think it's done after 26 minutes for both. I'm going to just set this one over here on this rack and just give these time to cool. But I think after 26 minutes that we're good. You can tell, you know, since this one raised up into the rack that was on top of it a little bit, we lost just a little bit of the top, but it's not too bad. I think that overall, you know, once they get all iced up and such, everything will turn out just fine. And this is better than like using a NuWave Oven Pro and having to do one layer and then come back later and do the second layer, since you've got no heat from the bottom in the NuWave Oven Pro. So I'm just going to go ahead and let these cool off. I think we're going to be okay with this, and I'll bring you back in a while after these have had some time to cool down. Alright, so these two layers of cake have had plenty of time to cool off, so they're nice and cool now. And they both look fairly decent. I mean, just 26 minutes, and that turned out real nice. You know, cooking at just 325 degrees in the Primo. I'm going to put this one down. I'll let this be my bottom layer of cake, and I've got my icing here. So I'm just going to go ahead and take and ice this layer of the cake up. Alright, that first layer is looking good, so now I'm going to pile on the second layer. You can see on the back just a little bit of the cake got on that, and just a little bit got on the wire rack, just a little bit, so didn't lose much at all. The cake's looking nice and moist. I really like that. It turned out real nice and moist. Both layers look nice and moist. So it turned out pretty well. Dealing with some splitting of the cake here, just because of how it rose in the cooker. Or I could have flipped it the other way, but at any rate, we'll just try and ice it down best we can. As I always say, I'm that kid who did not get the A in art class, so I'm sure you all will ice a cake better than me, and form a cake better than me. But I do hope that at this point you do see that the NuWave Primo Grill Oven is able to accomplish cooking a 2-layer box cake in pretty good time and very moist. Alright, so I was able to ice over some of my imperfection and flaws in cake building, but I'm sure, as I said, you'll do better. The Primo did a great job as far as it's doing its work to make this cake. So, job well done by the Primo. And going to go ahead and just cut myself a slice at this point. So I'll just, maybe I'll use another utensil to get sliced. I'll just use this here to get it sliced. It's so moist, it's like wanting to almost come apart on me there. My. Rich and delicious looking. Look at that. That looks good. We're going to taste test that. Alright, so it's like grilled chocolate cake. NuWave Primo can bake. Let's get a piece off of there. It looks nice and fluffy. It's thick, rich, and moist. Perfect cake. I mean, perfect cake. I can't make a pretty cake, but it tastes perfect, I can tell you that. And so, great job by the Primo getting a cake pumped out. And so, you know, basically you can do all your baking needs in the Primo. So, this, other recipes, heating instructions, you can find at superwaveovenrecipes.com. You can find this YouTube channel anytime through your web browser by going to waveovenrecipes.com. Also Twitter and Instagram, Wave Oven Recipes. Be sure to leave your comments, tell me what you think. Tell me what you might bake up in your Primo or what your favorite baked good is. Also, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, share the video with a friend, subscribe to the channel, and good eating.